All right. Good morning. We are back. We are back for more Rustacean time. All right. Here we go. Let's make sure my Discord bot's working. Cool, 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 cool. Okay. Hey, what's up, Bob Knoll? Good to see you. How you doing, sir? Stefan, what's up? How is it, man? It's been a minute. How's life, dude? It has been a minute. Hopefully things are all well there. Good morning, crew. Good morning, Oblivious. Good morning, guys. Good to see y'all. We're going to try to figure out some ownership fuckery that's going on in our app. Good, good. Waiting on my friend, then I can go back home. Nice. Well, I'm glad you stopped by, man. Yeah. Whenever I don't see you guys for a few days, I always wonder, I wonder what's going on with those guys. All right, so let's open up NeoVim. All right, we're in the middle of refactoring at the moment, and I think I left everything broken yesterday. Yeah, we need to, that's fine. We can load the swap file. I do need to remove that though. Let's see, source. New Oh My Posh font? No, this is the same one. This is Cascadia Cove, I think. Yeah, Cascadia Cove. It's kind of been my main lately. It keeps saying there's a swap file in here. I don't see a swap file. Oops. So yeah, actually, I've been making everything Cascadia Cove theme. I made turn my blog into the Cascadia, or not theme, but font. I'm basically adopting it as like my brand. I don't know what's going on. Keep saying there's a swap file every time I open this. I don't think the LSP attached. Oh yeah, I did. Okay. Okay, just delete it. Let's see. Air opening file vim editor.lua line 1 attention neotree error. Huh. Okay, I know that there are errors here because when we left yesterday, it was all screwed up. Oh, there we go. Now we're getting the info. Okay, so our issue when we left here yesterday was basically that Steven didn't understand ownership. Hello, Amanian. Thanks for holding it down over there on Twitch for us. So basically, Steven didn't understand ownership. Steven was trying to add a helper method to his state function that was causing uh, a bunch of cannot borrow errors, basically. And based on the reading I did yesterday, this is a result of the fact that we're basically attempting to borrow twice from this mutable shared reference within the same scope, I think, if I'm using the right. Yeah, it's already been borrowed. So I think there was some stuff chat had suggested yesterday to try to fix this. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the dumb thing first, and I'm gonna get rid of the helper method. I'm gonna get rid of the helper method, and I'm just gonna do this all with like direct access of the fields. So what do I mean by that? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do state dot files dot get mutt, and then I'll do current file. Yeah, just like that. Okay, and then this now is not going to have. So this is why I kind of wanted to have a helper method, because I don't want to have to actually do like a match every time I do this. So what if I do this? What if I walk that back? So let me walk this back. So instead of defining it as a method on the state, what if I just do it as like a helper, right? So what if I do something like we just pass in the hash map, UUID, file, and then we also do current file is UUID, like that. Did I not? Oh, I didn't type these right, did I? Cannot borrow files is immutable as it is not declared as mutable. Cannot borrow. Okay, so we have to declare it like this. Mutt. How do I do that? Declare a mutable parameter. FYI, no music. Oh, that's weird. Hold on one sec. There you go. Did it come back? Sorry, I had it. I heard it in my headphones, but I guess that wasn't playing for you guys. I'm sorry. My bad. You were just listening to the very, I'm sure, very soothing and calming tones of me wondering about things out loud. Let's see, mutt up. So the mutt goes in front of the parameter name. Okay. Cannot return value referencing function files. Returns a value referencing data owned by the current function. And that then is telling me basically I need to do this. Or this. Yes. See, missing lifetime specifier. This function's return type contains a borrow value, but the signature does not say whether it is borrowed from files or current file. The signature does not say whether it is borrowed from files or current file. Consider introducing a named lifetime parameter. Alright, I think we're going to have to use some Copilot magic to understand this error. This seems like it should be the simplest thing to do. So before we go down this rabbit hole of ownership or borrowship, I just want to do the thing that I want to do. And it seems like whenever I try to hide things or abstract or encapsulate things, the borrow checker gets very active. So all I'm trying to do here is I'm just trying to say files, and then yeah, that's all I'm trying to do. I think this is why somebody in chat yesterday said, this is why you must learn ownership. That's literally all I'm trying to do. OS Ints. I know I've been up too late when Steven is live. That's funny. So are we on like opposite schedules? Yeah, you were on opposite ends of the. So whenever the head of my schedule overlaps with the tail of yours, we know we're in trouble. That's hilarious. Let's see, Oblivious. Last time I wrote in Rust, I sort of just thought I could run my way through it, ended up not knowing jack about ownership and using copy every other line. Yeah, I've got a lot of copies. I've got a lot of clones in here. Good morning, Big J's Faith. How are you? Good to see you, man. Yeah, I've got a lot of clones in here. All right, let me see if I can. All right, so this is basically the same exact thing. let's see. Consider borrowing here. Consider this to changing this to be mutable. Cannot move out of index hash map file. Move occurs because value has type file, which does not implement the copy trait. So this is this must be where we need to actually use the get mut. Okay, but this is where then that's where we have to expect problem. Greatest error message in the history of all error messages. Problem. Yes, there we go. Now we need to resolve the mismatch type one. So the problem here is state.current.file is an index. And so what we want to do is we want to do let current file. Yep, I want that. Oh, that's Copilot. Shut up, Copilot. Problem. This is why I wanted to define some sort of helper method, because I know I'm going to have to repeat this access all over the place. All right, so then we'll just read the current file, and we'll check to see if its path has something, and then we'll do the same thing up here. Let current file equals state.files dot get state.current file. This expression has type UUID. I mean, the thing about Rust that I do appreciate is somebody put a lot of work into thinking about how the compiler can guide you through to the right answer, which I think is I'm very appreciative of that, right? But at the same time, this is not wholly intuitive, the ownership concept, or at least in my opinion, I don't think it is. All right, so this we're iterating over the files. The file is a map. We want the first item in the map now. We want to look at the path. Okay. And this is saying p.clone. Mismatch types. Expected UUID. Oh, that's because what we want to keep track of here is actually file.id. And I'm just going to need to clone that. Oh my goodness, guys, I think we did it. I think we refactored it. So, so let's see. The way it recognizes styles from other languages and redirects you is very impressive. I don't know of any other language that has that in its debugger. Yeah, the compiler in here is wild. Using any function that copies instead of managing or moving ownership feels like an anti-pattern. Yes. Yes. It basically seems like you constantly have to be answering the question of what does this piece of code need to do with this piece of data, right? You're constantly answering that question of does it need to only read from it, or does it need to write to it or consume it? And I don't think I always know what the answer is to that question. and so therefore I think I mess up the function, the signatures of the functions, because I think there are places here where I'm cloning data where I don't need to clone it. So I'm gonna have to refactor that. But this is definitely a very, very different experience than programming in any other language that I've learned. OS, how did the Go? Oh, the Go was great, man. Yeah, we had a ton of fun. I built a little CLI, or a little TUI interface with Go. I did all of admin code with Go. Yeah, Go was a lot of fun. Big J's Faith, I'm doing good. I can actually look at what you're doing and kind of keep up. Nice, dude. Well, there you go. See, it's just osmosis, man. Yeah. You spend enough time in this stuff and you slowly start to absorb it. All right, let's see if this actually works. I think we successfully refactored it. What I was going to say, though, is it seems like encapsulation is sort of an anti-pattern in Rust, because it seems like the borrow checker gets really freaked out whenever you start basically trying to hide the access of things. So as soon as the compiler can't quite see everything it wants to see, it gets very angry. It's very pessimistic, which I think is probably a good thing. Thread main panicked at source run problem. Oh no. 2064-61. 264. Let's see, current file. Where are we? We're in the view function. Files.get current file. Okay. So current file should always just start with the default file. The default file.id. Use of moved value, default value, value used here after move. So this is where it wants to clone it. But I don't think that. I think that this current file can just actually always be a reference. I don't actually think it needs to have. Yeah, I think it can always actually. We could probably fix that by just changing the type signature. Let's see. Where are you complaining? Borrow move value. So what does that mean? Does that mean I need to grab a hold of Okay. Try this again. Okay, it started. That's a good sign, I think. Let's see. Let's open an existing file. That seemed to have worked. Hello world. Okay, let's open another file. So this was a case before that failed because.
Well, how about that? Welcome to the party, pal.
Dude, Big J's Faith, that's crazy,
Welcome
man.
to the party, pal.
Ah, dude, that's so kind of you.
Welcome to the party, pal.
You gotta be kidding me.
Welcome to the party, pal. Welcome to the party, pal. Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party.
Welcome to the party, pal. Welcome to the Party Pal.
Thank you very much, Big J's Faith.
Welcome
That's
to the Party Pal.
way, way too kind of you, man. All right, well, we gotta get them folks up on the board real quick, so bear with me. Also, I don't think my application is totally working the way it should be, but we're gonna fix that. That's right, Duck Boy. Welcome to the parties, pal. That's right. Welcome in. I like gifted memberships quite a bit because it's funny. People always show up in chat and they're like, "Wait a minute, I got a gifted mem. What's happening?" Yeah, yeah, Big J. That's just, dude. That's just too nice, man. Too nice. But thank you very much. I very much appreciate it. I never expect it, but it is just appreciated more than I could really express. Probably with just my words alone. So thank you very much. Let's see, members. Let's do a quick download of the members list. I think I've made it my new YouTube goal that I want to have a big enough channel where I can programmatically update this list of members. I don't know what size of channel you need to be to get a YouTube representative assigned to you, but that's the size of channel I'd like to have. What's up, James Solver? Although James Solver, you left some very strange comments on one of my shorts, man. Something about you getting arrested or something or other. Welcome to the party. Oh, I don't know about that, Kai. Big J. Well, everyone here is supportive of my endeavors, so it's only right that I show my appreciation. Well, that's very kind, Big J. We're gonna be supportive of you, or I'm gonna at least be supportive of you, regardless of how many gifted members you buy. I'm rooting for you guys. I want you all to win. All right, so I said that this would be fixed, but it's not. So look, when I switch tabs, there's an issue here. So we seem to not be rendering the right content based on whatever the active file is. So we need to, I think, go back through our code and look at, I think, particularly the view function. Where is it? Let's see, view. So we're rendering the buttons correctly. That's fine. Let's see, current file. Here we go, state.content. So this is where we actually don't want to get the state.content. We actually just want to use the current file. Then we want to say current file.content. Okay. Cargo run. James, yeah, I was arrested last month. Yeah, but you were saying some weird shit about why you were arrested. That was not. I was kind of uncomfortable with it. Danny, are you sure you're a newbie in Rust? I am definitely a newbie in Rust, but I'm slowly sort of figuring out some of the way Rust works. I need to spend some dedicated time on ownership for sure. Okay, we're not loading. We're not. Whenever we load the file, we're also not setting. I also can't type in here. Okay. So you can see down here my state is changing. Line 0, column 2. So you can see there's some state there that's changing, but for whatever reason, it's not updating in the content. And then if I open another file, let's open file 5. Yeah. So what's happening here? Something's happening. Something weird's happening. So we have current state. We're binding the text editor. Hello, Allie the AI. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. We're doing a little bit of Rust this morning. A little bit of Rust dabbling. 99 Oblivious. Again, rustlings. You'll get great examples of ownership moves, copies, and consumptions. Yeah, that's. I mean, I think at some point we need to do that for sure. Need to do rustlings, and I'd like to read that book a little bit more. But I want to see if I can't get this working. All right, let me hold on. Maybe I think one of the issues is I have stuff in here that's no longer being used. Like content is no longer a valid thing. Current file is a valid thing. Editor font size is valid. Both of those actions are valid. Okay, so here we are. Let path equals save file. Current file.path. And what are you telling me about state.content? No field content, yes. So then what we have to do is we have to use current file.content, this. Okay. And then this says cursor position equals state.content. State.content is wrong. It should be current file.content. Okay. And then we do the same thing here. So we'll say, yeah, this is I think this is where the issue was, or one of the issues. So this should be let current file. So again, this is where that helper method, we need to figure out that helper method, because now we have this access code literally littered everywhere in this file. Let's see, current file dot content, perform action on that content. I wonder though, down here where I'm rendering the editor, where is it? Where I'm rendering the editor? I'm wondering if this needs to be let's see, returns a reference to the value corresponding to the key. Okay. All right, let's try this again. I think in my code I was using an old field on the state that I didn't need anymore. I think is what was happening. Hacking is the best. That's interests me on programming. I'm not a hacker myself, Demos 4363. Although I'm interested in it, I like hearing people talk about it, but I'm not a hacker myself. Breadinner, hey Steven, is there a repo link or README for this project that I can read? Oh, for sure. I don't really have much of a README, but there is a repo link I can send you. It's still very much in its infancy. You know what I mean? So I haven't really documented anything. It's basically what the project is basically it's like a notepad alternative, but we're gonna try to put some markdown previewing in there and just, make it our own type of thing. So let's see, Bredner at Bredner. There we go. I just put the repository link in the chat. It's also in the description of my YouTube video. Don't lie. Thank you, sir. Of course, man. Yeah. Again, there's really not much a terrible amount of information in that repository, but you can obviously look at the code if you'd like, and then just for context, it's basically a notepad application is what it is. Let's see. I'm not lying. I'm really not a hacker. Ali, I was lonely in the horizontal stream. How's everyone doing this morning? Yeah, it's kind of interesting. You have this chicken and the egg problem with the horizontal stream. It's like part of the fun of the stream is the interactivity, but everybody's still staying on the vertical stream and not the horizontal stream. And part of that's because the horizontal stream is members only. But yeah, there's this like the horizontal stream will only really become fun when we have more channel members and more people hang out over there. So it's kind of a catch-22. Also, Demos, I'm not gonna make malware, man. Okay, so this is where I think James Solver is gonna go bye-bye. I don't know what the situation is there, but that makes me uncomfortable. So James is going bye-bye. Oh yeah. Okay, I'll take the private stream. Nice. Have you done any ML stuff? It's easy gaming. The closest thing I've done to machine learning was I used a book earlier this year to learn about building large language models, but I haven't actually done much in that space. I did find yesterday this .NET library called Machine Learning.net or ML.net. ML.net. That looks pretty cool. That I'd like to try to check out. So yeah, I might do some of this on stream. They have a tutorial where you build something that does classification. Can't remember exactly what it is. Let's see. I don't know what model you built. You build some sort of model that I think does some sort of classification. Yeah, I'd like to learn more for sure. So look forward to that in a future stream. Danny, I missed the coffee making part of the stream. Oh, we could bring it back. I still have my coffee stuff set up downstairs. I stopped it because I didn't really know if people were fucking with it, you know? Hello, Amba. How are you? Steve, I convinced my wife to let me get the same coffee setup you have. Nice, dude. Let's go. I love that, man. I'm glad you have a wife who supports your caffeine consumption. It's easy gaming. VL Jeppa, have you heard talk of the town? Talks are better than LLMs? I have not heard of that. Bob, we feel abandoned when you leave us to make coffee. Well, we can bring back the coffee can for sure. I mean, that's not a big deal. I can bring it back. I don't want y'all to feel abandoned. Oh, it's an addiction. Nice. Yeah, me too. I'm honestly like I don't have very many vices, but caffeine is one of my vices. Coffee is one of my vices, and I'm okay with it. I'm not looking to change. There's one you might appreciate him, Big J's Faith. I don't know if you're a TikTok user, but one of my newest favorite TikTok accounts is this guy named um what's his name? Boomer. Let's see, Coffee Boomer. Let's see. This guy. His username is Joe Boy or Java Joe is his username. But basically all his videos
Good
is
morning,
just
I'm
him
Joe.
at
I'm
his
a
coffee
boomer.
counter
Coffee addict.
making his coffee every morning. There's like every video is like 4 or 5 minutes of him just like rambling and making a cup of coffee. And I love it. It's like it's exactly my kind of content. Yeah. Okay, this guy said VL JEPA. So this is better than LLMs. Let me take a moment here to look at that. That's intriguing. Because my thesis is that LLMs are not the final form of AI. VL JEPA. VJEPA 2 is the first world model. Oh, so it's a world model. Trained on video that achieves state of the art. So it's still this is still a large language model. Oh no, it's a vision language model on a joint embedding predictive architecture. Instead of I don't even know what some of these words are. Instead of auto-regressively, oh this is good. Because that the auto-regressive nature of LLMs is the problem it's the Achilles heel of those models. Generating tokens as in classical VLMs, VLJEPA predicts continuous embeddings of the target text. By learning in an abstract representation space, by learning in an the model focuses on task-relevant semantics while abstracting away surface-level linguistic variability. On eight video classification and 8 video retrieval datasets, the average performance surpasses that of CLIP SIGLIP2 perception encoder. At the same time, the model achieves comparable performance as classical vision language models on 4 datasets, despite only having 1.6 billion parameters. Interesting. Yeah, I had not heard of this. So this is news to me. Thank you for mentioning it. I'm not really a machine learning. I have no real expertise in machine learning, but I like paying attention to the space. Bob Knoll, is that where you got the idea for those member videos? What? Hold on, what? Oh, you mean yes, the TikTok guy. Yeah. That's what inspired me. For coffee time, Bob. Yeah, sorry. I was like, what is he talking about? Yes, that's what inspired me. I think his videos are they're so low key and they're so casual, and I was like, okay, that I could fuck with something like that. That was my inspiration. Kirk, it's a 3D model used for robots to move around. Oh, very cool. Well, that. Everybody says that's where we're headed, right? We're headed towards AI powered robots. It's easy gaming, not exactly. Okay, not exactly. I also missed the transition of the camera to the coffee room. Well, we can bring the transition back for sure. ng Tantai TypeScript forever, dude. I love TypeScript. What a wonderful language. Basically, they just don't predict next token. Well, that's good, right? I mean, because the autoregressive nature of LLMs are what cause it to break down over time, right? The model essentially collapses after so many predictions. Oblivious. Writing a neural network with backward propagation and training it on something is so nice. There's a lot of theory behind it, but the implementation is actually not that tough. Oh, that's cool. That's good to know. Gives me hope that even a simpleton like me might be able to write a neural network. Let's see, I'm about to write a neural network for my master's. It's just a lot of work and organization. So, Kirk, I didn't realize you were getting a master's. Congratulations, man. That's awesome. That takes a lot of discipline and a lot of commitment to go back to school and get a master's, especially if you've been out of school for a little while. I wrote a DNN back in high school in both Python and C++. Well, so what's the D in NNN stand for? I'm guessing NNN stands for neural network, but what's the D stand for? Deep. Oh, deep neural network. Okay, I've heard that before. I've never. I've heard of those three words put together, but I didn't realize that's what the abbreviation was. Uh-oh, looky there. The typing is back. Wonderful. So let's open up another file. Let's see, tab 1. Okay, so tab 1, this is a bug. So tab 1, when I opened it, it's not focused and its content is not in the editor. If I click it though, okay, we have our content. And then let's open up another file. Let's see, tab 2. Okay, and then let's add some text here. Hello world, Steven. Switch to tab 2. Switch to tab 1, and we persisted the state. So this is what we were after the whole time, is persisting the state between tab switches. So success. We have been successful. And if I save this, and then let's say I delete it, and then let's say I open it back up, okay, so now we have duplicated tabs. We did persist it though. Okay, so this is another bug. This is another bug. We have bugs galore. Bugs galore. You're basically creating more than just input-output nodes? Okay. Thanks. Well, I've never had a stable job, so my whole life has been learning since I hung up the bong. Nice. Well, well, I mean, that's okay. I mean, learning seems like a valuable way to spend one's time. So, you know, good for you for hanging up the bong. Salahuddin. Hello, Salahuddin the AI. This must be another burner account for Ali the AI. Steven, this message is just for you. Come by my Discord sometime. It's in my profile. This message will self-destruct after you read it. I don't think that's the way YouTube chat works. I don't think that's the way it works. All right. So when we open, let's see, open. Oh crap. You know what I just realized? I just realized something. Okay, so the issue I want to fix right now is the fact that I have double tabs, right? The problem with this, though, is basically the problem is before this, we were keeping track of the tabs based on path, right? So it was very easy. The keys in our dictionary were the paths of our file. And so it was very easy to basically never have duplicates because we would open a file and we would just set the key based on the path. But now, okay, so the question is why the question is then why do I need to use an ID why did I decide to use an ID versus a path here? That seems like it was a mistake. Oh, the reason why I decided to use an ID instead of a path is because new files don't have a path. So the IDs there are allow me to hold on to a file and have a unique identifier for that file without it necessarily being without it having. That's why I did that. So that means when we do the open method, we essentially have to check to see if the path is already present. We basically have to do one of these things. We have to say, so we open the file, and then we have to loop over. I really don't like this though. But basically what we have to do is we have to check to see if file dot path equals the opened file path. That seems very annoying that I have to do that. I'm bothered by it. I'm bothered by it. Oh no, there's another AI here. Oh my, Ali the AI, are you spamming my stream right now with burner AI accounts? I don't know how I feel about this. AI overtake. Well, if it continues, the AIs will just get banned. I guess the AIs are becoming subscribers though, and they're waiting 5 minutes to talk, which is pretty funny. We're just over there creating bot accounts. So I guess the thing that I want to do here is I really hate this. This seems like a really bad... It seems like I've built this in a really bad way, but basically what I have to do is if it's the same file based on the path, then we have to essentially replace the content of the file that's already open in the editor is what we need to do. Yeah, so basically we would say this so basically we can do this where we say if any of the existing open files have a path that matches the path of the open file, then all we want to do is we want to get a handle to the file that's associated with that path, and then we just want to set the content. Okay, so this is where we're going to run into some issues here, I think. Cannot find value open file. Oh, yep, that's right. Okay, so this would be let sum. How do I do that? Let sum. Let sum p equals. Okay. So we do let sum p equals can I do something like this and p equals path? Does that work? Cannot compare standard path buff with option path buff. Oh, shoot. So why does open file return? Oh, because they may not actually pick a path when they open the file. They could cancel. So oh, interesting. So this is actually I'm like finding out about my own code at the minute. Like I'm remembering what I wrote 3 days ago. Like, wait a minute, why did I do that? Let's see. Alright. So what I need to do is I actually need to match against the path, right? So basically the way I wrote this code is that if the path is none, then we didn't open anything. Or we don't want to do anything, basically. And so if the path is actually defined, then what we should do is we should do this logic. Okay. Now this guy's complaining because we're trying to compare things that are not equivalent. So this should be existing path. Then this should be P. And I'm going to call this, instead of P, I'm going to rename this to opened path. Okay, so now we have some complaints, I think, that are related to borrowing stuff. Mismatch types, expected enum, found, oh. Now you're complaining because why? Use of partially moved value. So if we clone it, will you be happy? Let me just throw a clone on that some bitch. Let me just, okay, so then, like, what are you complaining about? Cannot move out as enum variant sum, which is behind the shared reference. Existing path cannot move out. Same issue. So all right. Okay, first and foremost here, I think we can do that. Okay, then I think this can be open path, right? And then what we're going to check is we're going to see, okay, if one of the files, let's see, file, I'm just going to do a match statement. That's a little bit easier to wrap my head around right now. So we say match on file dot one dot path, right? Okay, you're immediately angry. Okay, you're happy now. Okay, so if there is no path here, we don't care about it. But if there is a path here, then we need to actually do something. And what we want to do is we want to say if existing path, or sorry, let's do if open path does not equal existing path. This is like the ugliest code I've ever written in my entire life. Cannot compare with, all right, so who's who here? So you're a reference and you are not. So we'll do this. Okay. Then just do nothing, right? Or, well, I guess probably an easier way to write this is to do equals. If these two are the same, then this is where we basically just want to say, okay, give me file1 dot content and set it equal to the thing we're doing down here. I think this is going to make the borrow checker angry though, because cannot assign to file.one content, which is behind a shared ref. So we'd have to actually do what? Okay, so could we do file to update equals state dot files dot get mut dot file dot 0 dot expect problem, and then file to update cannot borrow state.files as mutable because it is also borrowed as immutable. Well, shit. Like, what's crazy though is, like, even though I don't understand ownership in a way that I can articulate it, I basically now kind of have a good sense of when I'm going to run into issues with the borrow checker before I actually run into the issue. Like, as I'm writing the code, I'm like, okay, this is going to be a problem. All right, so let's say let's try. I'm just gonna try a different approach here. Let's say we have. I'm gonna try a little bit different approach. Just hang with me for a second. So let's say we have a value at the top here, and let's say existing file ID. Bob, no, hold up. What are you trying to do? Okay, so Bob, what we're trying to do is, okay, let's start from the top here. So basically we have this issue now where whenever we open a file twice, we end up with duplicate tabs. And the reason for that duplicate tab problem is because in the past, we were keeping track of the keys in our state or our file map. We were keeping track of the entries based on the path. So every time we opened a file, if it had the same path, it automatically just essentially deduped itself. But now in this new world, we are having an issue where we're now keeping track of the file based on an ID, right? So whenever we open up a new file, right, a file on disk, we have to somehow figure out that the file we opened up is actually already in our state, already in the state's file map, right? And the only way we can really do that is by using the paths. So we have to compare the paths of the opened file against all of the paths of the file in our map. And so that's what I'm trying to do here with this code, which I'm able to do it, but then the issue becomes when I want to update the state, right? So at this point in my code, I know that I've opened a path that equals one of the existing paths. And so now what I want to do is, instead of creating a brand new file struct and inserting it into the state's file map, I want to update that struct. But obviously now I've run into like or ownership problems. Let's see, not sure if this is the best path. Could you have another map of file path to ID? Yes, we could do that. We could do that. Yeah, I agree that I don't like the looping. Okay, so you're saying keep track of another thing. Okay, so what don't... The thing I don't like about the separate map thing is now I have to keep track of two maps. So whenever I update one map, I have to keep it in sync with the other map. Roberto Santiago. Good morning, everyone. Just came to say hi. See you next time. Good coding. Well, thank you for stopping by, Roberto. That's very kind of you to stop in and just say hello. Komodo Swag Dragon. Good to see you. Sorry I wasn't trying to ignore you. Aerobic. Instead of naming it P, just say my P or something classic like that. Also, Aerobic, you got to use snake case in Rust. You can't use camel case. Amba, can we do like if we do open, is check the open tabs having file or not? If not, they're new tab, or else same tab, switch that one. I'm just guessing. No, I think you're all trying to think about a way to handle this in a more elegant way. Bob, I agree, but that can be abstracted away. Yes, it could be abstracted away. I just don't know how to abstract it away. Stratos, kind of like a two-way dictionary. Yeah. I mean, it's basically, yeah, that's basically what we want. I mean, we basically would like the ID to map to a file and to a path, or from a path back to the ID. Also, wasn't totally following, but your mutable borrow issue in the loop may be solved by for something in something.itermute. Let's see. Where am I looping? There should be a loop. There should be a loop in here, but I don't see the loop. Oh, I deleted it. I was like, where did my loop go? I deleted it. Yeah. Bob caught on. Bob's like, bro, you deleted the thing. Okay, so you're saying here do something like, is this the lifetime? Are those, is that like lifetime? Oh no, you're just quoting. That's just quotes. So for something in .iter mute. Yeah. Sorry. I took your backticks too literally. So you're saying state.files.iter mute. So what does that give me? That gives me a mutable, yeah, so that gives me a mutable file as a reference. Okay. And then down here, you still don't like this because, oh, that's because I don't really need to do that anymore theoretically, because I should be able to say file.1. Oh, did Bob just fix it? I think he did, but I agree this is ugly. So let me add a to-do here. To-do. Chat thinks this is stupid. And I agree. There is probably a way to have some sort of map between ID and pass. Let's just see. So let's just see if that fixes my duplicate tab issue, though. You like my code comments? Yeah, it's very stream of consciousness, isn't it? Let's see, cargo run. I'm hoping this fixes the duplicate, though. I mean, I'm at the point now where it's like, there's a lot of refactoring that needs to happen in the application. Like, there's a lot of refactoring we need to do. But I think I'm at the point where like I want to get it back to parity to where it was, and then I should probably sit down and write some tests, and then I should refactor. That way I know when I've broken something through the refactoring. Let's see, let's open tab 1. Okay, that's still a bug. So whenever we open, we're not properly setting the current file. Uh-oh. Meld Studio got logged out. Let's see, always, yeah, that's fine. Open link. That was weird. That's never happened to me before. Okay, so let's do that. We can still add text, yada, yada, yada. Let's try to open that same file again. Tab 1, open. Damn it. It didn't fix it. But I don't think it didn't fix it because it didn't fix it. I think it didn't fix it because I basically need to return here, I think. God, this is some ugly ass fucking code. Okay. I forgot I haven't eaten my orange yet today. I put an orange in my pocket and then I forgot about it. Let's see, open. And then open. There we go. That's what we're looking for. So we save that. Then let's say we delete it, but we don't save it. If we open tab 1 again. Cha-ching! Is that new? Right? Yeah. You definitely wouldn't want to walk around with. Don't walk around with oddly shaped fruit in your pocket. It's not a good look. Nice. All right, so we fixed that bug. Okay, so the other bug is, like I said, where if we open up a file, that should become the file that's currently focused in the editor. And right now it is not. So we can fix that, I think, pretty simply by going to the open method here and saying let's see, state dot current file equals file dot one dot id. And we can do the same thing down here, but instead we will say, let's see, opened file.id. Okay. I think I'm doing way more allocations of things than I need to. Like I'm just copying variables and creating new, like purely to get around the borrow checker, which is probably not, it's like I'm taking the path of least resistance everywhere. Let's see. So let's do open tab 1. Yep, that's what we wanted. And then if we open tab 2, we got that. We can type. Now we can switch between tabs and have the nice. I like it. I like it. So that's a good question. Is the font size independent of the tabs? Let's see. Hello. We make this one really big. And we come over here and we say hello. No, they're synced. If I do smaller. So the font size is like a global state. Cool. And then if we want to persist these to disk, we can do Control S, Control S. And then if we delete this stuff out, delete that stuff out, and we do Control O, we open these back up, restores the state, tab 1, oh, it was tab 2. Tab 2. All right, so I will say there is one bug that I noticed that has to do when we initially open the application. We're not opening a file, basically. So when we do cargo run, the default state of our editor we should have a blank tab up here. And the reason I think that tab is not showing up is because in our view function, we are only rendering out tabs for files that have a path. And this we cannot do anymore. We need to render out tabs even if files don't have a path. The only thing that changes is whether or not basically the text on the tab. So does the text on the tab become the file name, or does it just get set to untitled, which is what I think I want to do. So then how do we do that? We basically need to abstract out all of this code here. We need to take this out of the if statement, and we need to put it down here. and then the file name needs to be lifted. So we will basically say, let file name equals this expression, where we say new file. Oh, and this should be okay. You're angry. Why are you angry? You're angry because what? Cannot find value P in this scope, not found in the scope. Oh, that's because that was coming from this. So how do I want to get access to that information now without doing a bunch of if checks? So here we're already checking to see if a path exists. Could we do... Huh. I mean, this isn't like a hard thing. It's just how do you do it in the fewest operations possible is what I'm thinking about. Let's see, remove that let file name equals and move it to a separate line. Then P will be in scope. So you're saying move this. You're saying do something like this. What did I just do? Yeah, yeah, I'm wrong. Are you? Well, I think I see undo. I think I see what you're trying to get at, though. That's what I'm having the same, I think, thought as you. Is there some way you can bring P into scope to where it's available to both determine what the text is going to be, but also then reference it down here? I mean, I guess the other option is, and this is what I was trying to avoid, the other option is we just suck it up and we just do multiple matches, right? So we do basically match what would be match file dot one dot path, which again, this to me feels ugly, but maybe it's just because I'm not writing very good Rust code, and two, I'm not used to Rust syntax. State path equals P, and P comes from here. And then this is going to complain because, and somebody's unhappy. Here, yeah. I mean, again, it's like, the thing I think I hate about this code is the fact that up here I know that P is sum, right? Or I know that there's a path, and then down here I'm doing the same check again. But I already know that information up here. But it'll work. It'll work for now. Like I said, we know we have lots of things to learn. We have lots of things we could do better. If let only lets you use it in that scope. Yeah, that, which makes sense. That I mean, that 100% makes sense. So it's like I'd have to basically resolve what P is. If P, well, we have to resolve if the path is sum or num at a higher in a higher scope, so that we could access it in both the same scope that we figure that out, and then also in that captured scope down in the closure where we determine what's what. All right, so now we are rendering the tab, but it's not clear that this is the tab that we're on, right? So what do we need to do there? I think this should... Oh, that's because we shouldn't be... Actually, I think all this code is unnecessary. Now that I think about this code is unnecessary because isFocus doesn't matter about the path anymore. What matters is, does the file's ID equal the current file's ID? That's all that matters. So all that hand wringing was not necessary, because what really matters is, does the current file ID equal... That's so stupid that I forgot about this. Does the current file ID equal the ID of the file we're currently building a tab for? Now this is going to complain because this needs to be a reference. And this is going to complain why. File.0 is borrowed here. It doesn't have to be. And which means then we can do this. Yeah. So that's that's my mistake. Woohoo! There we go. So we can do hello world, and then we can do save, and it's going to prompt us to put this is a new file, .txt. We can save it, and then so it updated the name of the tab, which is what we want. Perfect. And then we can do open new one, tab 2. Awesome. Awesome sauce. That sounded like a dad thing to say. Awesome sauce. Hey Ryan, how you doing? Good to see you, man. How are things in Lisp world? What's up, Sean? Good to see you. Doing well. How's the rusting going? The rusting is going well, But I think if you were to ask chat how it's going, I think they would say it's very clear that Steven doesn't know ownership, which is 100% accurate. I do not I intuitively understand ownership, meaning I've written enough code now that I know when I'm going to trip over the ownership issue, but I don't totally understand why it's happening or how to code myself out of it when I get stuck. So then I just start throwing clone and I just start cloning shit to get around it. So yeah, so we're gonna need to take some time at some point and just go read about ownership. Good morning, Can Kirk. Good to see you, man. You too, Sean. I think I said hi, Sean, but just in case I didn't. Good to see you, man. Finished documenting and refactoring the code yesterday. Now I have to implement more features. Nice. Did you use AI at all for your documentation? Because I would have used AI probably exclusively for the documentation. Because documentation's somewhat fun, but it's not fun to go from 0 to 1. It's more fun to go from like 1 to 2, right? Like to do the review and the polishing of the documentation. Kanker, are you reading another chat as well? Probably. I have 3 chats that are all unified for me, but they should also be on screen for you too. Can you see them on screen? You should be able to see them on screen. I have 2 YouTube chats and a Twitch chat, which Twitch chat is very quiet at the second. Ownership is literally pain in the ass. That's what I'm learning. I'm struggling with it too, yeah. So I don't want to forever be struggling with it though, right? Because I hear everybody says this about Rust, that this is like the key thing to understand. This is like the whole idea behind the memory safety aspect of Rust. So I don't want this to be like magical wizardry. I really do want to be able to grok it, and I want to be able to explain it to other people. So eventually there's probably either going to be a blog post or a YouTube video of me talking about ownership purely so I can prove to myself that I understand what I'm talking about. I find the best way to test if you know something is to try to teach it to other people. Right, no AI, just a bunch of copying and pasting. I also modified the VS Code language grammar to implement syntax highlighting. Nice, dude. That's awesome. No, I'm impressed. Do it. You're just raw dogging the documentation. I like it. No AI. Who does that anymore? No AI. Guys, don't you know you have to be using AI? You're going to get left behind. The software engineering field is changing. Manual coding is a thing of the past. If I see one more Boris Cherny ad from Anthropic of him talking about fucking using Claude Code, I'm gonna freak out, man. That ad plays on every YouTube video I watch. The first ad on the pre-roll is Boris Cherny from Anthropic being interviewed about Claude Code. It's very annoying. Hold on, I gotta blow my nose real quick. BRB. Also, we should get more coffee. Not a day goes by at my uni without me hearing the word AI in some form or another. Dude, AI is just like, I don't know how anybody isn't burnt out on that conversation. Jesus Christ. It's just, whew. I manually wrote documentation for 300 plus functions so that I get hover documentation. That's awesome, dude. Hover documentation is nice, you know? Oblivious. I think a big part of understanding ownership is planning and predicting how many times you'll be using a variable and when or where it'll need to be mutated and how. So Oblivious, that is right now, that is, I think, intuitively what I'm able to see as I'm authoring the code is I start to see, oh, I need to mutate this. Oh, I need to read from this, right? So I think that's what I'm keying on to figure out when the borrow checker is going to check me. So that makes complete sense. How are you? I'm doing great, man. Yeah, I can't complain. I've got, like I said, I say this all the time on stream, but I've got money in my bank account. I've got food in my pantry, hot running water. My kids are healthy. My wife's healthy. There's really nothing in this world for me to bitch about at this point in time. Sean Dev, the lovable ads do my head in. So-called AI software engineering. Yeah, I'm ready for all this to be over. I'll tell you guys, I'm very much ready for the AI train to come to an end. Kelsey, you got snacks? Nice. I do have snacks. I have oranges. Good morning, honey. Love you. What's Freeborn in your username? It's literally my legal name. My legal name is literally Steven, Stevan, Freeborn, Freeborn. A lot of people think that it is like a gamer tag thing though, but it's really not. It's just my real name. Oblivious. It's also helpful for choosing your type since some traits are huge help. Oh, that's good to know. I don't think I've run into that yet, but that's good to know. That's the coolest last name I ever heard. Well, thanks, Kurt. Yeah, it is unique. I've not met anybody else with that last name who I wasn't related to. There is a guy on the internet that I found I think he spells Steven differently. I think the last time I Googled myself, I found somebody who has kind of a similar name but a different first name spelling. But yeah, I haven't like met somebody just on the street or in a class or at a job that had a freeborn last name. So it is kind of a unique last name. His government name, yes, my government, my state owned, how the state addresses me. I'd put that name up second best to Rainbow. Rainbow's pretty good. Yeah, that's very good. Kelsey, I can't chat on YouTube now. Why not? That's weird. But and who cares, right? You prefer Twitch, honey. But tell me, I wonder, what do you see when you go to YouTube? I think there might be a bug on YouTube. Somebody was complaining about a bug where they thought, oh, actually, Kels, I'll bet you're in the wrong. I'll send you the link to the right YouTube chat. Because there's two YouTube streams now, and I bet you're looking at the members only one. Hold on, give me 1 sec. Yeah, the subscriber only one. 1 sec. I'll send you the link. 1 second. Copy link. I just sent the link to you, honey, in text. Trevor Rainbow is likely the best named human on Earth. That is a really good name. I feel like Rainbow and Freeborn sound like something that would come up in like a character generator, you know? Like they totally sound like you pushed a random character generator button. Let's see, Ryan. The way you're cloning data to manipulate it sounds like there's going to be a lot of orphan data lying around. Maybe. I'm not really sure how Rust deals. I'm not really sure. I mean, I assume Rust handles cloning okay. Like, I mean, it's not garbage collected, so Rust must have some way of keeping track of what I've made allocations for. But I do think there's extra allocations happening that aren't necessary because basically I think I'm cloning data so that the thing I'm passing the data to can essentially not borrow it. But I think it's totally fine if it gets borrowed because I'm not needing to mutate it or anything. I'm just trying to read from it. So there's some stuff in my code that I need to go back and like change the signatures of functions. Kelsey, it didn't work. Oh, it did it? Maybe try closing the YouTube app and then hitting the link. Oh well, that was... If I have to come upstairs, I will. Kelsey, it didn't work. That's okay. Okay, well I can come upstairs and help, honey, if you need me to. I did, bro. Did you? I know that was kind of like me asking, like, did you turn it on or turn it off? Have you tried assembly? It's human torture. I've not tried assembly. I mean, I think there's a line that I walk personally where, because this is gonna sound really hypocritical when I say this. There's a line I walk where I want to be involved in writing code, meaning I don't want to just do agentic development, but I don't think I want to go back to writing assembly code without a language server, you know? So it's like I want some nice modern languages with some nice modern tooling, but I still want to be involved in authoring the code. So I know that sounds really hypocritical because it's like, well, if you really, if you really cared about writing code, you'd even want to type the ones and zeros. But it's like, no, I don't really want to type the ones and zeros. I would like to write something like C# or TypeScript, but I still want to be involved in the authoring of the code. I don't want to turn that over to an AI. Assembly is bliss. Oh man, I don't. Assembly just looks not readable. But that's probably more of a skill issue than maybe a indictment of assembly. Cloning works great, but you'll just spend time in memory you likely don't need. Yeah, see, I think that's my current hypothesis, is that I'm spending time in memory that I don't need to spend. Borrowing can either be a simple address move or can be completely flawless at runtime since the compilation enforced it. Nice. In layman's terms, by Rust Noob. Well, I'm a Rust noob, so I'm happy to take your definitions. Kels, I'm married to the tech guy. I know how to troubleshoot things. I know you do. I know you do, honey. Let's see. You can also code with Minecraft with Redstone. It's a nightmare. It can cook your CPU, but it's one of the coolest shit you can do. Maybe that's what so I made a deal with both my kids. I told both my sons that I would buy them PCs if they learned how to program. So maybe I need to tell them that they can learn to program with Redstone because they both know how to play Minecraft. Kurt Kennedy, agentic development will be a great domain to build encryption on top, but all of the tool calls should be written by a dev. It makes sense. I mean, they are for the most part, I think. I mean, at the end of the day, an agent is just a very clever, it's very good prompting, very good context management, and a lot of clever engineering by a lot of developers, right? I used to build Redstone computers all the time. 100% get them onto the Redstone craze. You get into really complex computer architectures. I think that's crazy. I wonder who was the guy that was like, you know what we could do? We could we could use Redstone to build computers. All right, since everybody was saying they want the coffee cam to come back, I'm gonna try to go make a cup of coffee, and I'll bring you guys with me. We'll see how this goes. I'm doing this on the fly, so cut me some slack. Kelsey, you fixed it. Yeah, let's go. Way to troubleshoot, honey. See, I told you you'd be a great engineer. I told chat yesterday that I think you'd be a great engineer. You're so inquisitive and you always want to understand and You like to take things apart and figure stuff out. I mean, you don't have to do software. You could do other types of engineering. I wonder if Danny's still here. Danny's gonna miss out on the coffee can. See if this works. Nah, bro. That dyslexia will get me every time. It's not gonna get you. It's not gonna get you. Alright. Let's see. A few weeks into Minecraft's beta, someone made a fully working arithmetic logic unit using only torches and redstone dust. Damn. Those people are on a whole nother level, man. I'm over here struggling to understand ownership in Rust, and people be using. Alright, so let's see if this works. We're gonna switch over to coffee can. Okay. It's a black void. it's a black void. Let's see. Droid cam. Refresh. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Does the... Oh, I should probably... I don't know how to get sound in here. Hold on one sec. I'm gonna mute myself really quick. I can't see. You guys can't see that? Oh, it's not on the hold on, sorry. It's not on the vertical. My bad. I'm sorry, guys. We're doing this live. There we go. Okay, now everyone should be able to see. Now I need to figure out the sound. Okay, so I think Droid Cam allows me to use my phone's audio. So let me try. Okay, I'm gonna mute myself, chat. Just one sec. All right, chat, can you hear me? Type I can hear you, Steven, in the chat. I think this is working now. You are heard. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, guys. I appreciate you tolerating the hot messness that's going on at the moment. All right, now I got to take you into the other room, so we'll see how this goes. All right, I'm gonna put you down. Rod, I'm just gonna stare at the wall for a second.
Did we just become best friends?
As you can tell, I've done this before many times. Very, very prepared. Right. I'm just setting. Echo, turn on the bass.
My light bulb burned out. All right. I think that's as good as it's going to get for today. Oh man, what a what a shit show this stream has become, huh? Not a fan of this. Well, we're doing it, honey. This is what we're doing. Chat wanted the coffee cam to come back, so the coffee cam is back. They said they feel abandoned whenever I make coffee without them. I don't want people to feel abandoned. Also, I'm pretty sure I saw somebody follow the channel, so Size Sheriff, thank you very much. Get a P.O. box so people can send you coffee. Network Chuck used to do a networking channel with coffee content. Hits a lot of cross-channel interest. That's cool. That's a good idea. I wonder if P.O. boxes are hard to get. I've never actually had a P.O. box. I wonder if they're expensive. A cooking video? Oh man, you guys don't want to see me cook. There's nothing special about There's nothing special about me cooking, that's for sure. Held package, $9 at USP. Oh, that's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. For me, I think it's $100 to $200 a year for a PO box. That's not bad. $9 is much better for USPS. I would happily take coffee that people send me. My mother would be like, "You are gonna brew coffee that people sent you from over the internet in the mail?" She would not be down with this idea. $9 a month. I mean, Olivius is right. Oh, so $9. So that's. Oh yeah, that's right about $100 a month. That's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad. I guess it depends on if you're making money from your YouTube channel or not, and how much money you're making from your YouTube channel, whether or not you should spend money on a PO box. There's coffee in the Philippines that cat eat then crap out. It's like a shotgun to the head out here. Oh, that's the copy. That's the Kopi Luau coffee. Uh-oh, did that freeze? I think my... Oh no, it's live. Alright guys, well, the coffee cam has happened. I brought it back. I'll try to make sure I keep it ready to go. If I could really send you guys some like if I could actually make you coffee and like transfer it across the internet, I would. They haven't invented that technology yet. Yeah, I get coffee from Cebu. If tariffs and import taxes aren't too high, I could send some. Oh, nice. Yeah, I would take some. Well, I guess I need to figure out this P.O. box thing at some point. I also need to figure out ownership in Rust, too. I love this coffee maker, though. Dude, my hair is a mess. I hope you guys know that like I don't typically go into public with my hair looking like this. Alright. Coffee is made. Alright, this was the part that Danny said he missed. Ready, chat? To the office! Hey, you guys, stop screwing around. Come back.
All right, we are returning from the coffee station in 3, 2, 1. Initiating return sequence now. The best coffee I ever had is from Hail K Lana. I've never heard of that. Hail K Lana. I'll have to keep that in the back of the mind. Good morning, Born to Shine. We just got back from making coffee. Hope you're doing well. We actually figured out our Rust issues this morning. So we're having a pretty productive day. We did coffee cam. We fixed our Rust issues. Things are going fairly well. Although my mic seems to be peaking a little bit. Test, test. 1, 2, 3. That's good. I think that's okay. Ducky Dev, I've got a crap ton of Kopi Luwak. Why do you have a crap ton of it? Blues Clues for programmers? Essentially. Yes, essentially. Like way too much as gifts? Oh. Well, you need to send some of that my way. I've never had that type of coffee before. I would like to try it, though. I think it would be good to try. You need an old 60s Batman transition for the cuts between the coffee station and the office? I do, don't I? To the Batmobile! To the coffee station! I can work on that. Alright, so what's the next thing we want to do with our project here? Let's see. I guess we're at the point where we have a lot of the basic functionality, right? And now we just need to figure out if we basically need to dial in the styling, and we need to add some polishing and some touches. We need to make the file system, we need to make the file interactions asynchronous, because right now they're synchronous. We need to refactor the application a little bit. We don't have tests, so we need to write some tests. I think what I want to implement before I go today is I think I want to implement a new function, like file new. So let's try to do that before I have to go to work. Alright, this is pretty straightforward to do. If we always use this enum, we should be able to say new, and then that should drive the rest of our changes basically. So now the compiler should complain, and we just need to fix the compiler errors, and we should, at the end of fixing the compiler errors, we should have a new action. So we'll do fill match arms async. Move that up here. We will call this write new file. And then we have a non-exhausted pattern matching down here. Actually, you know, it's funny. I said we need to write tests for this code. The testing for this is actually going to be pretty straightforward because we're using this. What's the word? It's a particular type of architecture that ICE is based off. It's based off another programming language. I can't remember now. I'm gonna look it up. ICE.rs. I think it's architecture. No, that's not it. It's not here. Oh, there it is. Architecture. I want to say it starts with a the Elm architecture. So because ICE is based on the Elm architecture, writing tests for this should actually be pretty straightforward, because really most of our logic lives in this update function. And so for the most part, all we have to do is we just pass in a state, we pass a message, and then we just assert that the state is modified according to how we would expect it to be modified given a particular message. So writing tests for this, I think, should be fairly straightforward. I don't know how we test the view logic. I'm guessing, if I had to guess, ICE probably provides some sort of testing package for this. If I had to guess. Testing. See, official examples. I'm guessing I can probably look at his source code. Oh, this is cool. I didn't realize they had all these examples. Since ICE was born in May 2019, it has been powering the user interfaces in Coffee, an experimental 2D game engine. Oh, that's cool. I'm getting completely distracted, but I'm guessing there's some way I can test the view. ice.rs testing view logic. Let's see. Testing view logic in ice.rs is straightforward because of its adherence to the Elm architecture, where the view function is a pure function of the application state. Okay. That's fine. Write unit tests. Get text content. Helper function to extract text from an element. Okay. So instead of manually inserting the element structure, use iced_test for interaction simulation. Oh, so they have a separate crate for this. So you can actually do simulator, give it an initial view, and then you can simulate calls? That's cool. Oh, I'm excited now. I'm actually kind of like super excited. Maybe I'll just become a Rust native desktop developer. Forget web development. Who needs it? All right, what was I trying to do? I forgot what I was trying to do. There's test in the menu. Oh, you saw test in their documentation? Oh no, this is text, right? This is what you're talking about? My kid's sending me requests for more time on YouTube. Well, at least we found what we need to do. We need to use iced_test as the crate for testing. But we don't need to do that today. We're just trying to implement being able to create a new file. So we want file action new. Okay, so what do we need to do whenever somebody news up a file? We are basically going to do the same thing that we do in our defaults or in our boot method, where we are going to initialize a default file, and then we're going to insert it. So we're going to do this. And then we are going to set that to say current, or sorry, we're going to say state.current file equals the default file ID. Okay. And I think that's all we needed to do. So if we do cargo run, we should have a new menu item for creating a new file. Kirk, oh, I'm on the vertical view. I guess it's harder to see stuff with glasses. Cool. Yeah, well, it does look like test, though. I will tell you, I've written the word test and text interchangeably many times. Bob Noel Elm. Yes, Elm is what I was thinking of. That is exactly what I was thinking of. Today's been a pretty productive day with code on stream, you know what I mean? So now we can just new up as many files as we want. However, there's some sort of issue with the focus. It's like jumping around. Oh, is this where maps aren't guaranteed to be ordered, are they? When you iterate over them? The scroll bar works. Yeah, I think basically the new file can just be inserted anywhere. But I think I want the new file to always be at the beginning. So that's a little confusing. Or I guess it should always be right next to the last. It should always be appended to the end. Interesting. Kelsey, you do? I do what, honey? What are you trolling me about? Are you just commenting on my thinking out loud? Let's see, Rust. Are hash maps randomly ordered? So I know in Go, they specifically make the order of maps random. Yeah, iteration order is arbitrary and non-deterministic. Well, shit. So how do I consistently... This is a problem. Okay, now be a senior dev and add an index to the map so we can just have a good old array. Oh. Yeah, I see what you mean. But do I really want to store them separately like that? I mean, I guess I have to do something to figure this out, but do I really want to... Where did my... There goes my state. So do I really want to do that though? I mean, I guess that's probably the easiest way to keep things ordered, isn't it? But if that's the case... Damn it. I've made a bunch of bad decisions. It's either that or some sort of external ledger to read. You have to fetch from a random bag, so it's got to be tagged somehow. Yeah. Yeah, you're 100% right, Kirk. You are 100% right. Am I being annoying? Yes, I am. You're not being annoying, honey, at all. You're not being annoying at all. Thanks for hanging out on stream with me this morning. Good morning, 199. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Good morning, Artwork Studios. Good to see you. Oh, this is interesting. We had the regulars who came at the beginning of the stream, and now we're having some regulars come at the end of the stream. This is nice. I just estimated the cost of my stage 1 and stage 2 hardware projects, and the numbers are like night and day. So how much are we talking for the hardware for these projects? I mean, how much money are you sinking into? I'm very strange about money and side projects. Like I'm such a tightwad when it comes to spending money on side projects. Are we talking thousands of dollars? Are we talking hundreds of dollars? Stage 1 is like 600 pounds, which is okay. That seems like a lot. What's 600 pounds in US dollars? 600 pounds to US dollars. That's $800, bro. Holy moly. Or she didn't come earlier because I accidentally zoned out and started doom scrolling. No worries. You can doom scroll. It's your life. You know? Right. And Dr. Evil would say $1 billion. He would say that. Stage 2 ends with 4 in 1,000. So you're gonna spend close to $2,000 on. That's a lot of money, dude. That's a lot of money. When I translate that into how many hours it takes me to work to get that amount of money, that's a lot of hours. Yeah, I guess $800 isn't too bad, but still, I mean, $800 is a lot of money. But I guess if it brings you joy and it brings you happiness and you're gonna learn from it. Second one would be 4,000 at current rate. I just can't justify it. So what are you building? Is it something to do with a PC or fucking AI? Dude, AI is making us all crash out. AI is ruining software engineering. I know that's hyperbole. AI is taking all of our jobs. AI is taking all of our RAM. It's just fucking us over, man. Mass workbook literally has the word AI all over it. Nice. Would be Giga Workstation for self-hosting integrated onto stage 1? That'd be cool. AI stole my graphics card? Exactly. Somebody in chat was saying that the other day that like, AI was supposed to affect their work, but it was never supposed to affect their gaming.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Oh, that iSpooky, that is way too nice to subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate that. That's more generous than you needed to be, man. So appreciate that. Yeah, taking all the goop. They are taking all the goop. So Kirk, does that mean you're a burnt peanut fan? My wife has become a big burnt peanut fan. He's very, very funny. Graphics cards are going up. Yep, they're taking everything, man. My phone keeps autocorrecting my to me. That is strange. I don't know why. Luke Smithers, I'd say good use of my Prime sub. Well, that's very kind of you, Luke. I really do appreciate that. The 5090 is supposed to start at 3,000 to 5,000. Are you fucking insane? Who is gonna drop half, like 5K? I mean, I know used cars are not what they used to be, but for $5,000, I mean, you could get like at least a beater car. That's crazy. Kirk, I am only passively though in shorts. Yeah, my wife watches a lot of his content on TikTok. I like to watch him stream. I like to watch him stream with some of the guys that I like to watch play video games, like Tim the Tapman and Nick Merckx and Cloaksy. I mean, he's fucking hilarious. I mean, you can't argue with that. I know there's a bunch of like hate towards him in the VTuber community, which I think is really, really lame, but he is freaking hilarious. What's a Prime sub? I think a Prime, if I understand correctly, if you have Amazon Prime, then you can actually sub to one channel a month on Twitch, I think. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is. I'm new to the whole Twitch world, so I'm happy to be educated. In Malaysia, it's crazier because shipping and borders and such. Well, we can all blame AI. I mean, if I saved everything for a month, I could get it, but I'm damn well not buying a new graphics card for a long time. I've got a project card to build. Yeah, I think the project card probably ultimately end up being more fun too. You know, because you'd have all the experience of the project, and then you'd have a car that you can actually drive. You know, so I would totally agree. Luke Smithers, yeah, Amazon Prime has one free sub a month on Twitch. Nice. Well, Luke, I really appreciate you being willing to give that sub to my channel. That's very, very kind of you. I always forget to use it, and I can't have it auto sub with Prime. My wife complained. So my wife's a big Critical Role fan, and she used to watch Critical Role on Twitch before. I think she's now has a subscription to a different service, but she used to always complain about that. Like she was like, "Why can't I just have this auto renewing sub to this one particular channel?" They really should. They really should fix that. Yeah, because people will forget to use it if it's not auto renewed, or if they can't like pick and choose, right? You should at least be able to like pick and choose, like maybe every so many months, right? You go to this channel, or every so many months you go to another channel. Moonwalker, this man is the coding guru. Show him respect. I'm the coding guru. I'm just a 32-year-old dad who hangs out in his basement and writes code. There's no guru here. But good to see you, Moonwalker. Hope you're doing well. If I built a PC, I would probably use outdated graphics and CPU because no way can our wallets keep up. Being tech bros is hard. Yeah, my wallet can't keep up. That's why I can't keep up either. I'm with you. Always wasted. What are the programming languages that you have written but almost completely forgot about it now? I don't forget about it, but Python is one. Python is a language that I wrote a lot of when I first started learning to program, and then I've actively kind of avoided using it. So every time I go back to Python, it usually takes me like a day or two to like get back up to speed with being productive with it. So it's not really one that I forgot but it is one that gets rusty. Gets rusty quite a bit. Luke, Amazon trying to save money. Oh, that is what they're doing, Luke, which makes it even worse. That makes me think of like the gym industry, Luke, where people want people to sign up for gym memberships and then never come. That's kind of a gross business approach. They don't want people owning personal computers anymore. I don't know if it's that they don't want people owning personal computers anymore, but I do think they want people dependent. I think companies would prefer people to be more and more dependent on their goods and services. Like, that's a good business strategy. Kirk, yeah, I liked him too. He started playing WoW, but I just had a baby, can't grind. Because, again, yeah, if you have a baby, there's not going to be much grind in WoW, yeah. or I guess you could, but that may not go over well with the missus. Just write a bot that auto subscribes to Twitch channels. That's not a bad idea. I never thought about that, Ryan. That's a really good idea. I'm actually going to write that idea down. Because that's actually, I could see people actually finding use in that. But it probably violates Twitch's terms of service, don't you think? But that's a good idea. Let's see. Auto Twitch renew bot. I'm guessing that's got to be something someone's built before, but I'm gonna build an auto renew bot for Twitch Prime subs. It's a great idea. Luke, I'd use that. Yeah, I mean that seems like a killer one. If everyone turned up to the gym, they wouldn't have enough equipment. They were relying on people not turning up. Yeah, and I always hated that about the gym culture, or like not gym culture, but I guess the gym business. I always really hated that. They want people to rent their cloud services. Oh, for sure. Yes, for sure. But I think they still want you to have your own local compute, but they would like you to use their cloud services. Definitely violates TOS, but I'll do it. I want to create a company for the people, and when someone complained about something, we make something countering it. For example, no RAM. Boom, we are making RAM. That'd be pretty cool, but it seems like that would be really hard to execute on. It would take a lot of like a lot of inter and intra-disciplinary skills and knowledge. Seems like it would be hard to execute. Kirk, gyms violate their gym with extremely aggressive salespeople. As somebody who was like in the fitness industry and worked in gyms for many years, that is one thing I absolutely hated about gym culture. Just really, really hated it. A lot. I think hold on, I gotta make sure my chat's still connected. Why don't I see Ryan's messages? Oh, I did see him. Ryan said Python isn't rusty, Rust is rusty. Next week, grabbing the Vim book and Algo book next week. What's the Algo book? I think I've heard of the Vim book, but I don't think I've heard of the Algo book. All right, Brett. Last thing I'm gonna do before we hang up is I'm gonna add a keybind. So to do, chat says I need to update the files map to be a map between an ID and an index. Then files need to be held in a, whoops. Oh no. Files need to be held in a list, or I guess a vector is what they call that in Rust, a vector. But before we do that, let's wire up a keybind real quick. Okay, so we need we will do let is new equals key press key modifiers is command, and key press dot key is in. This is not this whole thing needs to be refactored. This should not look like this. It should be much simpler to add a keybind than what I'm doing right now. And then we'll do is new, and we will dispatch the new. Okay. Now do cargo run. We should have a new keybind. It's just a book on algorithms, so I have an understanding of them. Nice. All right. So we can add a new file this way, or now we can do Control N. But it kind of looks funky because it's being randomly added. So we need to fix that. And that is what we will do tomorrow. Let's commit this code. Git add, git commit m. Let's do feature, refactor state into hash map, plus add new file action with keybind. I don't know about you guys, but that was probably one of the more productive coding streams I've done in probably a week and a half. So that was a W in my opinion. That was a W. And we got the coffee cam hooked back up. I mean, what more could I do? Probably not yawn while I'm talking to you guys. All right. Well, you guys know what time it is. How many of us are here still? I actually don't know. I have to go to the browser. So there's 24 on YouTube. Let's see, there's 28 on YouTube across 2 streams. And then Twitch, we have anyone on Twitch? We have 2 people on Twitch. Nice. Okay. Well, thank you to you 30 some odd souls, I think. Yeah, 30 souls that stayed till the end of my stream. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. It makes streaming way more fun and way more interesting when chat's here. I'm gonna do my normal wrap up. See you, Ryan. Have a good day, man. I hope you kill it. Have fun doing all your Lisp refactorings. Or no, you're implementing new features today. So have fun implementing new features. No more documentation. Until you get done with the new features, then more documentation. But have fun. See you, dude. Appreciate you being a member. Appreciate hanging out. All right, so normal wrap up. If you're new here and you'd like to interact with me or chat outside of the stream, the best place to find us is Discord. I'm going to spam that into chat. It's just discord.stephenfreeborn.com. It will prompt you. If you click that link, it will take you to an invite link, and then that you'll be prompted to answer a couple questions. The questions are just there to hopefully keep most of the riffraff of the internet out. If you don't want to join the Discord, that's totally fine though. If you just want to hang out with us here live on stream, either on Twitch or on YouTube, the best time to be around for when we go live is from 4:15 a.m. Central Standard Time to 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. And I'll spam my schedule into the chat here as well, just so you have that for reference. The reason I know those hours are odd, but the reason they're odd is because I'm a working dad of 2, and the best time to have long periods of uninterrupted time is in the early morning for me. So if you can make it, great. If not, no worries. Appreciate you interacting with any of my content or giving it any time whatsoever at any point in time. So it's always very much appreciated. All right, chat. I'll be back tomorrow morning if you guys will be here. I look forward to it. If not, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and hope you have a great tomorrow and a great rest of your week. All right, see you, Duck Boy. Bye, Ryan. I think I already said bye. Bye, 199. Bye, Kirk. I don't know if Bob is still here, but bye, Bob, if you're still here. Bye, Luke. Thank you for the Prime sub. I appreciate that. Who else? Always Wasted. Thanks for hanging out. Moonwalker. Appreciate you. Thanks for showing up. I think that's everybody that was in chat recently. All right. Bye, guys. Bye, chat. Bye. See you guys. Have a good day. Appreciate y'all.